Hi guys, happy little day today. Today I wanted to talk about something a little different than what I normally talk about. Usually I talk about like music related stuff, but today not so much. Today I wanted to talk about this video that I saw literally like the day it happened. Actually, I saw this, I feel like, before the comments were flooded by people being upset by it, and I was really surprised that no one was like kind of put off by it. And now, as it's sort of circulated on the internet more, this video has left a pretty bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. And even though I think it is a bit out of touch, I'm not necessarily surprised by this in the slightest, because something like this, celebrities cosplaying as the working class, literally happens like once a year at the least. So let's watch. I had to change the song because of copyright stuff. This video was posted to promote the Demilio family's newest brand, Be Happy Snacks. Now, if you look at the comments of this video, people aren't necessarily too happy about it, and no, they're not. I wish I had enough money to cosplay as a retail worker. So fun being in the working class. I wish I could cosplay being broke instead of just being broke. Watching this after an 8-hour shift. I can barely afford to live as a retail worker, but I'm glad you're having fun. Watching this after working 2 jobs, both 8-hour shifts, which I could just pretend. I think someone should have advised them not to do this. They have like a whole team of people. I'm surprised that one of them isn't fluent enough in marketing and PR and knows enough about literally every time this happens, how much backlash a celebrity gets, why they would do this, unless it was on purpose to stir up drama to get the snack line in front of more people's faces, or if it was really just pure ignorance and pure, just completely tone-deaf behavior. I don't know who told them to do this. I have a feeling it was this person in the video. This person is in the Demilio show and works a lot with them very closely. I think she's one of their managers. So I think she kind of is the brains behind this idea. I don't know though. Could have been any of their ideas, but regardless, this is one of the people that's supposed to advise them against doing stuff like this. I just want to dive into the whole phenomenon of these celebrities countless times, time and time again. It happens all the time. Every single time this happens, there's backlash. If we're talking purely about other influencers, I mean, I think the person who does this the most is Trisha Paytas, Arby's, McDonald's, Burger King. She literally does this like all the time, and some people have criticized her for it because, again, I mean, even if these people did have to work hard, they were part of the working class before they became multimillionaires, that doesn't mean that they are, you know, unable to fall out of touch with the life they once lived. And a lot of the time that does happen. A lot of the time people who do come from the working class, come from very little, come from poverty, and get really famous, they lose touch with what it was like, which makes sense. You adapt and you get used to this new way of life, but it doesn't mean that it's okay for people to just do this, you know? Ed Sheeran pretended to work at Starbucks one time for the purpose of promoting his album. I have read that this Starbucks in particular that he chose to do this at has been straight up just union busting. That's what this commenter says and what some article said. Although Starbucks did respond to that claim and say that this wasn't one of the locations that was union busting, but I mean, it's Starbucks. Regardless if this one was or wasn't, it's a company that is really not good at treating their workers fairly. So Fred Sheeran to just waltz in and like do a barista shift for the purpose of publicity. This is a publicity stunt. I just feel like I don't know why people keep doing this. Every time there's backlash. Lana Del Rey working at Waffle House in Alabama. This happened. Yeah, that just happened. Remember this happened? Yeah. Yeah, that just happened. Ben Affleck working the Dunkin' drive-thru for a commercial. David Letterman bagging groceries for like a segment of his talk show where he goes in and he's like, yeah, I used to work here. I want to give back to the marketing department of the store. So how about I come in and just wreak havoc in here. Lady Gaga worked at Starbucks for a day as a barista. Apparently it was for charity. Fine, but again, if you're someone that is as famous and as incredibly wealthy as Lady Gaga, you don't need to work a 9-to-5 shift at Starbucks to raise money for this charity. It seems a bit more performative, I guess. Like, it seems a bit more like a publicity thing. It's for press. Like, Lady Gaga was there to raise awareness for her Born This Way Foundation and her Channel Kindness book. Like, yeah, it's for a good cause. It's for her Born This Way Foundation, Channel Kindness book. It's promoting a charity, sure, but it's also promoting her literal product. You're Lady Gaga. You are mega ultra famous. You have probably like 20 million Instagram followers. You can still, you know, promote this foundation other ways that don't involve you dressing up as like a working class American and just like waltzing in and doing a little shift and then going home and like polishing your Grammys. It just comes off a little insensitive. In my opinion, I don't think it automatically makes these people like bad people. I just think it's a little ignorant. It just completely undermines like the struggles of actually being in the working class. It's just a little like one day novelty PR publicity stunt thing. There's no repercussions, no consequences if they do a bad job at the job. Like in the David Letterman video, I don't even want to show it, but he's just like opening cans of soup and just like drinking them and like making like race car noises over the intercom. It's like they can kind of just go in there and do whatever they want. And if a regular working class American went and did the same thing, someone who needs that job, maybe even that job and another full-time job to survive just to make ends meet, they're getting fired. Like, it's... The reality of working these jobs is a lot less fun than these celebrities make it look, which I feel like is an obvious thing, right? But they just shouldn't be able to profit off of the image of doing the same work that working class Americans have to do to barely survive in this economy. You have to just keep working, and it's like working so hard, 4-day a week, 12-hour shifts, 5 days a week, 8-hour shifts. For what? For the money to come in and then go right back out, and then you're left with no savings because it's impossible, because minimum wage is not enough to keep up with the inflation of all this other stuff. It's like when you have to constantly worry about money, constantly worry about what's coming in and out, it's hard work. And I have no doubt that Charli and Dixie, they work hard too, but they will never have to worry about money in their life. They work hard to maintain this multi-million-dollar company. They're not working hard. They're not doing the same type of labor that the working class is doing to literally make just enough to survive. And that's if you have one job. You like you have to have 2 jobs depending on where you live. It's like literally impossible to just have one job. Like, you need to work more than 40 hours a week to make enough to live, let alone have savings. Like, are you kidding? So I think if you are in the working class, you see a video like that, it pisses you off. Obviously, like, it's valid for that to make you upset. So I just cannot believe that there are people online who are also like, well, why don't you just go live your life? Like, why don't you just go do what Charli and Dixie did and get an audience and then sell them stuff? Oh. Oh. Huh. Oh, I never thought about that. Like, come on, guys. If people are upset about this, it's rightfully so. And if someone's not upset about this, if you're in the working class and you see something like this and you're in the middle of your 9-to-5 at your lunch break, it doesn't bother you, again, like, that is also so completely valid, like 100%. I also feel like each scenario is different. Charli did this to promote her family's popcorn line, literally like the Demilio franchise of the week, Be Happy Snacks. Ed Sheeran worked at Starbucks to specifically promote an upcoming release, an upcoming music release. Lady Gaga, again, she did it to promote the Born This Way Foundation. She did it to promote her book. Although it's something like a charity she's promoting, it is her charity in her name. And also literally she's promoting a product, her book. It is to sell you something. Whether it's a good charity or not, there are other ways to promote the charity. Like, stuff like that, I think, is a bit more tone deaf. I will say, I don't know the extent of the Lady Gaga thing. I don't know, like, if there was any other reasoning behind why she worked at a Starbucks to do this. Like, and if that is a specific scenario that you think is fine, like, let me know in the comments. But I think stuff like this is a bit more tone deaf because these people are exploiting this image of a working class American to funnel even more money into their already multi-million-dollar businesses that they are the boss of. Like, Ed, you don't need to work at Starbucks to promote the album. You already have, like, a deal with Starbucks for them to play the music in the stores, like, all the time. Oh, hi guys. Okay. Oh, God. Look at that. That's what I call a zit. Right there. Fine with it. Listen, I looked into it, okay? Oh, I don't know what Lady Gaga did at Starbucks. I figured it out. Apparently she was working at the Starbucks so that she could help sell these drinks she did. She did this drink collaboration with Starbucks where a portion of the profit of these drinks go back into her Born This Way Foundation, right? Guys, 25 cents for every drink sold. Like, how much is the Starbucks drink? It's like, what? Like, at least $5. The drink probably costs, like, $1, if not less than that to make. It's like, barely any of this money is actually going to the charity. What is this for? At first, I was like, okay, I guess it makes sense a little bit more that she's going to Starbucks because it's literally to sell a collaborative drink she did with them. But it's like, dude, I think there are better ways that you can raise money for the charity that focus on the charity. It's like, guys, 25 cents for every drink. It's like, it's not, like, it's barely going to charity. Like, this isn't about doing something out of the goodness of your heart, and it just seems more, like, self-absorbed. It seems less like, our, like, philanthropic queen, and more like, no, it's for good press. And it's just like, I don't know. It's weird. Am I crazy?
No.
Oh, okay. Some of these instances are more organic and aren't rooted in trying to sell someone something, which I think are just a bit more innocent, a bit more excusable. I think it's still ignorant, but it's not really something that, like, I look at and go, like, are you serious? Like, honestly, like, the Lana Del Rey thing was her literally just, like, visiting friends in Alabama. They'd been going there for days, and on one of the days, after being there for like 3 hours, one of the workers offered her a shirt with a name tag, and they wanted to take pictures with her. She was taking pictures of people in the restaurant. She did hand out like a coffee and an order or two, but this wasn't a publicity stunt. It was just something that kind of happened organically. So I don't really look at that and go like, really, Lana? It was just more of like an innocent thing, which is fine. Also, the Demilio popcorn line thing in particular, I feel like is coming out at a very interesting time, especially because that one clip from the Demilio show has circled around so much on the internet as being so widely talked about, of Dixie Demilio being like, yeah, I think my career goals are to marry rich. I don't want to work anymore. And that also just, again, like, left a really bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, because, like, dude, you don't even, what do you do? What did you do to deserve this? Nothing. You're Charli's sister. You just sat around and you literally didn't do anything to get this. All of a sudden, you're famous because of your sister's work. And now you're just like leeching off of her, and you're just automatically catapulted to this massive level of fame. You didn't do anything to get here. You didn't do anything endearing to get to the point that you're at. You don't know work, dude. Maybe now that your family, your parents have turned Charli's name into a family business, you have to work. You have to go do photo shoots and stuff you don't want to do. But you didn't do any of the work to actually get to that point. You didn't do any of the work growing the business to get there. You're just Charli's sister. And when it comes to the Demilio show in general, I feel like it creates such a unique conflict, at least in me, of like, I don't really want to support a product that the rest of the Demilio family profits from directly. Like, I'd rather just support a product owned by Charli, because I actually like Charli. I actually kind of like her, and I just despise the rest of her family, if I'm being completely honest. This all happened when she was 15, blew up just from making dancing videos online, people duetting her videos that already had a lot of likes, going, why does it have so many likes? What's so special about this? Only giving her even more likes, even more attention. She's like this random 16-year-old girl. Everyone is like, why are you famous? You think she knows? No. But all of a sudden, she's like the most followed person on TikTok. All these, you know, opportunities are coming her way. You think she's gonna be like, no, that's funny. Obviously, they're dangling like $100 million Super Bowl commercial in front of you. Music career, acting career. Like, what teenage girl is gonna be like, no, come on. So in a way, I feel like Charli has just been taken advantage of like so much, and it seems like a lot of it comes from within her own family. And it's so sad. Like, just watching the 3rd season of that show, especially, I didn't finish it, but it's just so frustrating watching her mom, her dad, Dixie especially, just sort of like leech off of her, and then Dixie's sort of jealousy towards Charli that she's more successful than Dixie when she's the reason any of them are relevant is just infuriating. Like, I get it, the reality show needs a villain, but it's a hard thing to do. It's a really hard thing to pull off, especially when you have franchises outside of the reality show that you want to sell people, when the show is surrounded around a family of 4 people. So you can make one of the family members a villain, sure, to stir up drama, to get the ratings up, but then it makes me not want to support the business, because I want to support Charli. I don't want to support Dixie, who complains about having to work. I don't want to buy Be Happy snacks because I don't want to put more money in Dixie's pocket. I want it to go to Charli. I think that's the only person out of the whole family that deserves the money. Whether you think she deserves to be famous or not, she's the one who's famous. The rest of these losers did nothing but exploit their daughter and their sister. It's disgusting. Disgusting. That's just my opinion. But I digress. And on TikTok especially, like the past year, I've been seeing a lot of conversation on like the future of our society and how the future is like this dystopian society, as if our society we live in now isn't already dystopian. Like, I think this Charli Dixie Walmart thing should be a bit of a wake-up call to how dystopian our society already is. Like, as if Charli's rise to fame in general isn't an example of our dystopian society. Anyone can randomly be seen by millions and millions, maybe even billions of people all over the world overnight. A school shooter is able to have a platform of hundreds of thousands of followers on TikTok, while people of color are put in jail for like 20 years for having an eighth of weed. Like, how is that not dystopian? How are we not already living in a dystopian society? The prison industrial complex in general, the very thing that is funding these companies like Walmart, that's funding these companies like Starbucks, as if that's not dystopian. I go on Snap Maps. I click on the Gaza Strip. I see children's faces being blown off, people carrying people out of rubble, just like explosions happening from people's windows. I go and click on Israel. I see some kids playing Fortnite. How is that not dystopian? Elon Musk, a billionaire, random guy, is literally able to just buy Twitter. Like, he just bought Twitter and turned it into a website that favors paid users who are mainly Elon stans, and restructures the whole website, just like ruins it to become a platform, just like a vessel to boost his own ego. How is, like, he just bought the whole thing. Like, how is our society not already dystopian? I could go on for like hours. You have to literally sign your life away through accepting the new terms and conditions of the McDonald's app. The McDonald's app to get $1 fries. How is this not, how are we already not living in the dystopian society? It's terrifying and it's heartbreaking. Everything is too expensive. People's basic needs, food, healthcare, gas, like, it's all too expensive. People have to work more and will never be able to afford a house. And then these boomers can come in and be like, maybe you're just lazy. No, people are working more and getting paid less, and everything is just more expensive than ever. It's like literally insane. Like, society's already dystopian. we're already living in a dystopian society. We've been living in a dystopian society, and it's literally only gonna get worse. Like, we gotta fix it somehow. Sorry guys, today's video is a bit of a bummer. I really just wanted to talk about this because I think it's important and it's really concerning. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for your support. Despite all of the awful things that are going on in the world right now, I hope that you can all find time to take time for your mental health. Just hope everyone's doing okay. Have a good day. Bye.